Welcome to the Through the Table podcast with Tom, Rick, Russ, JL, and Brian. Thank you for tuning in to part 2 of Through the Table podcast number 15. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Bray should come in with Braun, and then -1 should come out and say no, and then Braun brings Nicholas in for a Nicholas.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh my God, no.
Isn't he under contract?
It's a
What
former
is
tag
that?
champion.
Wasn't that one of the referees' kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still there, right?
Mm.
I think so, yeah.
So there'd be no way he would come in, unfortunately.
They could get some random kid. No one's going to remember what the other kid looked like.
Well,
Which,
they
by
could,
the way,
they could make him like
Nicholas
30
is getting an
now.
action figure. Nicholas is getting an action figure first before Brody Lee Jr.
There's a Nicholas. Wow. Well, he
There's-
never lost the title. He never lost the title. Also,
Never did. He comes with the tag team title.
Is he getting an action figure? That's terrible.
Yeah, he legitimately is. He's going to be a Build-A-Figure.
Before Joey Janela, how can they?
No, Joey Janela has one through.
I'm saying an AEW one.
I know
Oh,
they're doing a Dominic Build-A-Figure, like for one of the
Are they
sets, like,
doing-
Why?
from when he was like when he was Eddie Guerrero's kid.
Oh,
the,
Luke.
the Dominic
Oh.
paternity test on
he
a pole.
still is.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he still is Eddie Guerrero's kid. The kid is 6'2". Dad's 3'7".
They need a 2-pack of. They need a 2-pack of Little Jimmy and John Cena.
You can't see it.
Can't see him.
Just plastic.
Somebody would buy it, like the Brian Danielson
Yeah, I'd
white
spend
shirt.
$20 on it.
I love that white shirt thing.
That was
That
great.
was hilarious.
Only guy that comes in and doesn't wear his own shirt.
Probably not eco-friendly.
Seriously.
Oh, also
That's
true.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's going to turn the AEW belt into eco-friendly belt.
that'd be great.
So did they put the belt on him?
No.
No,
You don't think
it's
so?
going to go to Hangman.
I don't even think he's going to get a shot against Omega. I think Omega's going to be like, "Oh, you're not ranked. Until you're ranked, you're not getting a shot at me," because he did that with the Hangman thing, where if he lost that match, he was going to be unranked again.
Right, and then they did that with Christian too. When Christian first came in, they did a
Mhm.
couple things, and they stuck him with.
I think he
Fucking
might go
Marco
for it, but
stunt.
he's going to have to go through some people first to get up there.
Speaking of rankings, what do people think about the top 10 PWI? And also, will an AEW person be number 1 from this point on, since they broadcasted PWI all over their show?
I mean, that's
That-
not going to hurt.
Yeah, WCW used to do that all the time.
Right.
Look where that ended them up.
Right. It was
It's-
pretty accurate, at least with the people that were in there.
Right, and I think too with the PWI, it's everyone knows it's it's list really. You know what I mean? Like it's maybe the first 100, and then after that they're just like, yeah, we'll put
Doesn't the indie guys have to put in their information for them to just randomly put them on there?
I
It's
don't know how
possible.
it's run. I
don't
just remember
think so.
back in like the mid to late 90s, you'd have like Masawa would be ranked like 265, and you'd have like
yeah.
Marty Jannetty at like 83, and you're like, no way, come on.
Well,
Right.
it's kind of like the Hollywood Walk of Fame. People have to buy their star. And people want to be in it, but they don't want to say, they're in it, or they don't want to say that they bought their way in. But
Right.
people want to be on it.
True. I think Cabana Man Dan is higher than Sean Spears. I don't know how the hell that could be, but
Who's
it is.
Cabana Man Dan?
Exactly.
I don't know. He's ranked like 222, and Sean Spears is 225.
That's fair.
Cabana Man Dan was an ECWA like from like 1996. Like he was in like the
Oh.
first Super 8, whenever that
So he
was.
probably
Oh.
works like one show a year or something.
Yeah, he works. Yeah, he just works the Super 8 every year, and that's it.
He gets ranked.
Yeah.
We're gonna book him for this show. That's who he's gonna be.
He probably
I'll-
come on.
But
That'd
he
be awesome.
watches it every week. He should come on.
But as far as the top 10, I mean, I feel like it was a fair. It seemed pretty. I don't know what that was.
What the hell was that?
It was a chair.
I thought we had another mystery fart.
It was
No,
Joey
that wasn't
Janela.
a fart.
Oh, Tom's gone for the next half an hour.
Oh man,
Oh boy.
to edit this podcast, Brian.
This one's wild. What were you saying about the top 10?
I just like I was saying in the chat. I mean, for all I know, Rich Swann could have been putting on bangers in TNA, just left to right, but Impact, whatever you want to call it. But it's, I mean, other than Rich Swann, I thought it was a decent,
Yeah.
decent list.
I think
But
he only got it because he had both the Impact
Yeah,
and the TNA belt for
I would
quite a
say he
while.
was, yeah.
So I'm thinking that's why he kind of just made it. Because
But no, I mean,
Will Ospreay wasn't. He didn't even work a full year, and he's in the top 10 either.
right, but that's just because he's he's amazing no
Oh,
matter
sure.
what.
No, I'm just saying though. It's like he worked a few months and he was out of
Right.
action for a bunch of months. So it's like, I think it just depended on who had the titles and stuff like that.
That's what I think too. I think it was just
Because you got Omega, Reigns, Lashley, McIntyre, Ibushi, Moxley, Ospreay, Balor, Takagi, and Swan.
I mean, yeah,
The
all
only-
those guys
are
are
the
champs.
or current champs, or were the champs before the current champs. So
Right.
I'm just surprised it wasn't like. Did they say in the thing it was a close tie between Reigns and Omega?
the magazine doesn't come out till I think like around October 1st, so they didn't really break it down. They just kind of give
Okay.
you, here's our top 10. I
Right.
think you can get the digital copy now.
Can
I
you
don't know
even
if
buy that?
that's proper tickets to read.
Where have you
still-
even seen physical copies of that magazine?
I believe
I've seen it.
Barnes and Noble
Yeah,
sells
Barnes
it.
and Noble has them.
Yep.
All right, maybe I'll have to go.
seen it. I think it's out
magazine
like
in
a month.
years.
It's ridiculous.
This
Mhm.
used to be my favorite, the PWI 500
Oh, yeah.
and the yearly awards.
The year in review. Yep.
Well,
Those
the
two are the ones
almanac
I'd
was
always
great,
buy.
and then
Yeah.
then they stopped making the almanac, and that was
Mhm.
awesome.
Right. Back in the old days.
Yeah, I mean the rest of PWI was like whatever, who cared? But those two editions were awesome.
Oh yeah, those
Right.
are great. Mhm. Yes.
Important note: Kirk Roberts still gets a subscription to Pro Wrestling Illustrated, like a
They-
physical copy.
They still sell one? Wow.
He really.
He's
does.
grandfathered in.
I don't know because all of a sudden
He's the only-
I went
he's
over
the
his
only
house.
one
No,
that
they have
one.
it. They have
He's
it.
the,
It's a
he's
little
the only one.
expensive.
He's keeping Pro Wrestling Illustrated
There's
alive
one
as a
subscription
physical.
left.
I remember it being like surprisingly expensive. Like, if you're gonna buy, like it's like $10.
Yeah.
It's like,
It was-
come on.
Even
really?
back in the 90s, I think it was like $6.99. It was like
$6,
double the usual
$7, yeah.
price. So it's like, holy crap. Yeah, as Tom said, the only two issues I would get was that and the year-end one. Those were great.
Yeah, because
Yep.
the other ones were just like made up stories that some
Pretty
asshole
much.
wrote. Like, it was just. Oh, yeah, we
Eddie Gilbert
interviewed-
attacked some guy in
Yeah.
Memphis. Oh, wonderful.
Does the WWE need Intercontinental Tag Team titles? Vote below.
I think that was
That was-
actually a real thing because I kind of
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a real thing. I remember it.
Yeah.
Because the NWA had the U.S. tag team titles, so they thought they should get the Intercontinental tag team titles.
There goes Russ to get his copy.
I'm
Get
on
off
my way.
Intern's busy.
Oh man,
Well, who would you put in the top 10 if Swan wasn't in there, Rick? I couldn't come up with a name off the top of my head.
I think that's how the editors did it. They
That's
probably couldn't come up
yeah.
with someone.
Probably.
They probably just kind of yeah.
I'm
I
curious
I
to
was
see who
kind of
like
surprised
11
with
through
Finn
20
Balor
would be.
being in the top 10 a little bit.
Oh, he had the
Well,
NXT belt for quite a
I
while.
would say he had the NXT belt for a while
Yeah.
before. But
maybe Walter.
yeah.
Walter, yeah.
I honestly, and I would definitely bump,
He's the only guy I
Swan
could
out.
think getting in there
and I would totally put Walter like
higher than 10.
I would say maybe even top 5.
Yeah. If
I mean,
Walter's
honestly,
not 11, then
if-
that's crazy.
If NXT UK was like more of a known entity, I would even say he could easily be number 1. Like he's
Could
just he's that guy's an absolute machine.
Do you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
think that it's telling that an AEW star has the number 1 ranking over a WWE star?
Not yet.
Not really, just because I feel like around like 2014 when like New Japan started getting some more like exposure over here in America, like they I think Okada was number 1
He was
year.
number
I think
one, yeah.
I think Pete, like as much as it's
2016, he was number 1.
so as much as it's like it's like not so much fan service, but it's I also feel like I said, there was just like probably 10-15 years where there was no it was just WWE and indies, you know what I mean? Like
Right,
you had your Ring of Honor, and they'd throw some some random before like the New Japan expansion into America, like you said, Masawa was in like the 290s.
Yeah,
and
for years.
Kobashi,
And you're like,
yeah.
give me a break.
So it's like you know what I mean, you have like and I don't even think it's more just it's like more knowledgeable editors and people that I just think it's, oh well, this guy's popular with the fans, we'll throw him in, you know what I mean? But
Right.
But at the same time, Kenny has probably been consistently the best wrestler for throughout the year. Especially by their criteria with like title wins and
Yep. Right.
title reigns and all that stuff.
Sure, because he had the 4 belts.
I was gonna say you got to count it by this year. He had a spectacular year because he won all those belts. Like he was the belt collector,
Right?
and because of that, Roman Reigns stayed in one place.
And
Go
ahead.
Here's the list for the last like 10 or 11 years.
No, I was going to say, I know Moxley was number 1
There's
last year.
Moxley, Seth Rollins, Kenny Omega, Okada, Roman Reigns, Rollins again, Daniel Bryan, John Cena, CM Punk, The Miz, and AJ Styles.
That's crazy. The Miz.
Yep.
What year was that? 13?
2011.
2011. Okay.
Wow.
So
I
look
thought
at.
it
I
was-
mean, that's kind of. I was gonna say because would you say AJ Styles? So that would have been 2009, right? And I mean, and that's
2010 was AJ Styles.
2010
was Triple H.
So even that 2010, AJ was just doing TNA at the time, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he wasn't in New Japan yet. So it's like even that's like, I mean, they do throw other companies a bone now and again with the top 10s or the top 500 rather.
2004, Chris Benoit.
Who?
Oh, man.
Stevie Richards?
The
I
Big
think it's
Show.
interesting that Seth Rollins won it twice.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
won it twice.
Yeah. That is interesting.
You know what's really boggling my mind? Why Stevie Ray wasn't on the list as the cover boy. Because Stevie Ray could beat them all with his slapjack.
All right.
Think about it. Stevie Ray, number 1.
I'll edit that out. Don't worry.
Booker.
Yeah, Okada's ranked 25th this year.
I mean, yeah, he really hasn't done. I think he's been injured most of the year too. He's just been kind of.
The only thing I can find is the top 5 Japanese guys or New Japan stars that are in the 25 this year.
So I have a question. It's a Japanese wrestling question. So I don't know if JL, Russ, and Tom will. It's
They surprise you.
okay. So you have Nakamura comes over with the AJ Styles and the Good Brothers or whatever, the Gallows and Anderson.
Yep.
So I was thinking about this. Nakamura started basically the same time as Tanahashi.
Yeah.
So like Tanahashi right now, like in New Japan, he's doing it's like, yeah, he's the US champ, but for the last, I'd even say 3 years or so, he's like, he's almost like, he's like one step below like old man status. You know what I mean? He's not like
He's not a dad yet.
He's not like Nagata and Kojima.
Yeah.
And it's like you look at, but he's like right under that, like but he's still having those kind of matches, and that's what his gimmick is right now. He's like the old guy fighting from underneath.
Yeah.
Just with Nakamura basically being the same age and what, like, do you think New Japan would be treating him like that, or do you think
he'd be pushed more? Because the only reason Tanahashi isn't, because he's been hurt so much the last 3 years. He's had the shoulder, the knee, the legs. He's been so injured, you can't use him full time. Nakamura has been pretty healthy his whole career. I can't remember him really missing much time. I mean, I think at G1 he did something and missed a few days, but I think it's more injury, because they had him beat Ibushi at Grand Slam last weekend, and if you weren't going to do something with Tanahashi, why would he go over him?
Right.
It wouldn't make any sense to put him over him.
Because I was just thinking, it's like I almost, because the thought came into my head when Nakamura came out with what the hell's that guy, Boogs,
Rick Boogs,
and I just want to kick him right in the groin, and it's just, and I'm just like, I can't believe he was having bangers over in New Japan, and then you stick him with Rick Boogs.
All he cares about now is surfing.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
he re-signed for 3 more years apparently.
Did he really?
Because he loves surfing all the time.
Rick Boogs looks like a guy that you'd find in Brighton riding a bicycle, trying to go into a Trader Joe's.
He would be the guy sitting next to Ox Baker at the old Kowalski shows.
I like, he kind of blew my mind too. He floundered in. I mean, I can't even say NXT because he never made TV.
No,
you know what I mean. He did all those coconut loops, and like he was in that same, like, Tino Sabatelli, Kona Reeves. Like, it was just he was there forever, but they didn't do anything with him. And then all of a sudden he like completely skipped NXT TV, and now he's wearing friggin' denim overall jumpsuit onesie.
Someone saw him playing the guitar and said, we've got a role for you. Yeah, Elias, now you're dead.
I know it sucks. He's like, goddamn Boogs.
Seriously, they're changing his entire gimmick. This guy put out an album, and they're changing his gimmick.
What's he going to be, ballerina?
It's almost like when someone had to change their gimmick because their wife beater didn't have a logo on it instead of a wife beater with a logo on it. Talking to you, Tom.
You just got wrecked.
Whose gimmick had to change?
Brian Prue.
Well, I mean, he took a bump in the middle of a battle royal. He should have done that.
that's what they told him too, was your wife beater doesn't have a logo on it, so you can't wear it today.
Are you serious?
Tom's has a logo on it.
I didn't know that. I never knew that.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Huh. I was trying to get a singlet. I just couldn't get one in time. Oh, I never knew that. And today I've learned something.
See that? And once again,
I'm assuming your intern left a long time ago.
Yeah, he was like, "You guys still talking about wrestling?" And I was like,
"Oh wait, he's gone."
Yeah.
Oh, King Kong.
We'll edit that out too.
This could have the
he went out to play with
in it.
I just want to check.
So here's one for you, Russ. What do you think about the Mick Foley dialogue about the WWE and how he's getting a whole bunch of crap now?
It was interesting that he said it. If anyone was gonna say it, I would think that he would be one of a couple people that would say it to where some people might listen.
Mhm.
It's a fine warning. It's not the end all be all that some people are thinking.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a warning shot, and they should listen to him. But you know, the WWE still has plenty of time on their hands to. It kind of feels like the early '90s, where they might start losing consecutive weeks in a row, and then maybe find their new Rock, find their new Stone Cold, find their new attitude per se. But Mick Foley's warning, it should be listened to, but it shouldn't be taken too literal just yet. I don't think.
It seems like the big guys in WWE are taking it literally because they're very, very upset with him right now.
Which means
They want to hire him just to fire him again.
Well, he's under a Legends deal. He can easily get rid of that. I
Well,
guess
his
they're,
son,
Yeah, I don't think
his
he
son
is.
works in creative.
yeah, that's true. He could get let
Dewey's
go.
out.
You never know.
They caned Dewey.
That's a
They
different
literally
thing.
did. They caned him.
They should have Kane and Dewey, or Kane Dewey.
It's
How we do it?
like it's funny to listen to the to what he said, and then you watch Raw, and then you realize that Raw was 2 out of the 3 hours of Raw was friggin' that tag team turmoil match.
Yep.
it just wouldn't end.
It's like,
And wait, didn't the ending set up a title match between Orton and Lashley and had nothing to do with the actual
yeah,
tag?
It did. Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
so we saw 2 hours of a tag team turmoil for a singles match.
yep.
That's old WCW right there.
Well, they can't go to the well with that one gauntlet match they did, a few years ago with the singles guys, where tore the house down. This,
Oh, and Kofi just did like an hour and a half. Yeah,
it's different where they don't tag teams and they put half these teams that no one cares about in there. Like, who's going to care about it? Watching them for an hour and a half? Like, come on. They put them on the back burner all the time.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, I'm sure we've all had a job where it was great, and then a couple people came in and just kind of started ruining it. And new voices, new people, and they're still kind of like the skin, but it's the skin over a different skeleton. So and some people will stay and just kind of just abuse themselves to stay.
Mhm.
But then people are leaving, and will it change? Is it Vince? Is it not Vince? Is it everybody that's surrounded Vince? Like, what actually is it? Like, will AEW be the nail that kills the WWE? Sounds crazy, but
I don't think it will die. Just I don't. I mean, they've been around forever. I just don't see them going. I mean, also, they have $1 billion deals in place too. They're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
No, yeah, definitely. But now we live in a world where, like, things aren't cool like instantly now. And just where there was just like times where you can kind of weigh it out. But now, like, if WWE ever becomes not cool, then that's like total death blow. Like, I mean, through COVID and stuff like that, like, who really watches like late night shows anymore? Like, late night shows aren't going to die, but like it's changed.
Mhm.
Lately, Saturday Night Live isn't what it's been.
Last 15 years.
I haven't
Yeah.
watched that forever. Yeah.
Playboy, like all these things that just like should still be a thing
All
aren't.
empires fall.
Right.
All empires fall. And I don't think it's AEW that's going to kill the WWE. I think AEW appeals to a different audience.
Yeah.
I think AEW appeals to people kind of more like the people on this podcast and people that we know who appreciate wrestling. I think if WWE dies, it's by their own sword.
Yep.
And these mistakes that they keep making, releasing some of this amazing talent that, by the way, you know, Vince had to have been sitting there Sunday night and realizing that he may have made a mistake when you see the reactions that someone like, you know, Ruby Soho gets, who's, you know, a curtain jerker at best in the WWE, even though she should have been much more. And the reaction she got was gigantic. Did you ever think she would get that pop? Like ever? When in her time in the WWE, did you think she would get that pop at some
Of
point?
course not. No.
Not the way they used her. No
And
way.
it also shows too that like as quickly as they're not doing the right thing, they could do the right thing. We're talking about Brian Danielson. He was just in the WWE. Adam Cole was just in the WWE. Ruby Soho was just in the WWE. Like, you just use them right, and then they can fix it somehow. I mean,
No, they certainly can. They have the talent to do it, but
Haven't
the way they're
everybody
working,
been saying that for years?
they only care
like-
about money at the moment. They don't care about
Yeah.
the talent and what they're put on TV. If they make money, it seems like they're just happy with it. That has
For
to
years,
change for
everybody
them
has
to
said
do
that.
it. Mhm.
Everybody for years, everybody said that. Oh, WWE, if they only did it right. Oh, only if they pushed the talent they had. Oh, only. You know, they don't. They have no interest. They have interest in making money and making more money.
And then you see these guys and girls who they deem unnecessary for their roster and cut them have these gigantic moments in AEW on their debuts, huge pops, gigantic front page type of things. And someone's going to be sitting there like, man, we kind of dropped the ball on this. We kind of screwed up here. And it's not just with that. You look at what they've done with the NXT people on their own roster. Look at Keith Lee. Look at what they've done to him. Look at Karrion Kross. Look what they've done to him. Look at Shotzi Blackheart. Look at what they're starting to do to her. It's the same thing. They just haven't released him yet. They will.
So, you see what they're doing with Tony Storm?
What?
No.
They hyped her up. She made
haven't been on?
No, she hasn't been on like weeks. And then she was on last week as like, it looks like they're going to do some kind of a love angle with love interest, like storyline with Dolph Ziggler and like he's trying to get with Tony Storm.
Wonderful.
And it's just, you know what I mean? Like, once again, it's just, you have this girl that can work her ass off and you're going to make her a Dolph Ziggler's girlfriend it's just, I don't know. I just,
Especially where you only have like 4 or 5 real good women workers right now.
right.
Why wouldn't you use her in that role? Because we want to see Nia Jax every week, or
Tom does.
Tamina, or Natalia.
But like Tom actually said it last week with it's just all of us growing up. You know what I mean? We're all wrestling fans. We all wanted to be pro wrestlers. You know, we all wanted to go work for the WWF, WWE.
Yep.
It's you know, it's now there's this it's that's not the case. You know what I mean? Like, people just now they know that, you know, I can, yeah, okay, there are people that have gone work there, you know, check that box, and you know,
Sure.
now they're going to, you know, but it's I mean, yeah, there's some like the people there that, you know, for instance, like, you know, Zack Ryder, I was just happy to be in the WWE.
Yep.
And it's like now he gets released, and it's just now he's had like the best year of his career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's you know, CM Punk, it's you know, left the WWE, you know, did, you know, tried the UFC thing or whatever, but he's still, you know, he had his t-shirt store and pro wrestling tees. Like as soon as he left the WWE, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's like he was like one of the first people to sign on or whatever. And it's he was just still selling ridiculous amounts of t-shirts. You know what I mean? Like now it's you don't need to work for the WWF to make money in wrestling nowadays.
Oh, yeah,
and,
right,
and
exactly.
it's just, but even if you're not signed to AEW, you know what I mean? There's plenty of people out there that, you know, they work, you know, every weekend, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's enough for them to make a living. And it's just, you know, merchandise sales and, you know, pro wrestling tees and, you know, whatever. And
They do the drives.
yeah. You know, and all the female
Like the
wrestlers,
old
they have
days,
OnlyFans now and stuff, and that's great. You know, that's how they make money.
Some of them, yeah, or Twitch. Or
That
they
was
have their
actually-
own podcast.
Some show their Twitch on OnlyFans.
That was actually kind of interesting when Adam Cole said that he can still keep doing his Twitch now and how important that was. And he actually brought up a good point about how important it was to him and why it was.
Yeah.
And you realize that Tony Khan is I don't know Tony Khan. I see him on TV. That's about it. Same with Vince. I don't know the man either, but
Yeah.
from the stories and from what you see of him, Tony Khan is on the polar opposite side of where Vince is. Tony
Yep.
seems like he was hugging everybody and awkwardly touching people because he just seems like he's got that. I don't know how to handle social interaction touching, but hugging everyone. He looked genuinely happy for everybody and literally welcomed them as part of his family. Where
Yeah.
Vince doesn't have time for you.
No.
Vince wants
6,
to
8 hours just sitting in a chair waiting for him to open the door, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no
for me,
time.
Vince always looked like a bully. You know what I mean? Like he was always that. Like Tony Khan seems like a pretty rational dude.
He's that
And
kid that wants to hang out with you playing basketball. It's like 3 or 4 years younger than you.
Tony
Yeah.
Khan, if to go with your bully comment on Vince, Tony Khan looks like he was bullied.
By Vince?
Yeah.
So he
Vince.
yeah. But it
It's-
looks
What are you
like
doing at my show? Get out of here.
he knows what it's like. So he's come
Yeah,
here, my
yeah.
friends. Let me love you all,
Mhm.
is what he's doing.
It's funny because when you watch the media scrums and the press conferences, and you know, and it's like whoever's sitting there, whether it's Ruby Soho or Punk or Danielson, it's like you just look at Tony Khan and he's just all
He's got that big
he's just
smile on his face.
so
He's,
happy.
Oh.
He's just like
he's still the big
he's just-
fanboy.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
see in
just-
10 years when he's burnt out how he is.
but you know, but that's I mean it's kind of crazy. It's a different change of pace. It's a different environment. You know, you I mean, just even, you know, you go back and it's like, oh, these guys, they're all doing vlogs and going to toy stores and stuff. And it's just like, it's like 10 years ago. It's like, oh man, Randy Orton's bag. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's like, it's just a totally different, just, it's, you know, and it's kind of cool. And it's, you know, yeah, I listen to Cornette's podcast and some of the stuff he says, I see his point, but at the same time, it's just, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not like that. It's not the smoky, you know,
It's not
arenas and
1987 anymore.
right. You're not going to get,
not covering the kayfabe.
yeah, you're not going to get stabbed by any fans. And, you know, I mean, it's like, you know, even now it's like you can't even yell at like a female like a heel female manager. You can't even yell at them anymore. Else like Bubba Ray Dudley will come out and you at a at a pay-per-view or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's like I remember, you know, there's a picture I've seen floating around the internet, and it's probably early 80s, and it's the sign. It's just some fan has a sign that says Roddy Piper has AIDS. And it's just, you know what I mean? Like you know what I
Wow.
mean? But it's like
Yeah.
you can't you couldn't be like, you know, Hangman Page has AIDS. You couldn't bring a sign like that. It's just everything's different. Everything evolves, and
Mhm.
you know it's kind of cool that it's. I mean, I'm sure some people don't like it, that the old schoolers and stuff, but it's like, all these kids just sitting around playing video games. Back in my day, we were killing hookers and doing coke. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't. It's
And not in that order.
right. Maybe it is that
Do
order.
that all at once. with Grand
Yeah,
Theft
all
Auto.
at once.
You do the coke off the dead hooker. Who knows?
There you go.
Oh.
I mean, she's not going to move.
But it's just it's it's just weird how like just how much everything evolves and but I mean, I guess the more things change, the more things stay the same too. There's
Vince's problem with all that stuff was that they were making money outside of his control.
Yeah.
Which goes back to the whole bully scenario where he just wants to have his fingers on everything and control everything that he can. Whereas Tony Khan is just like, dude, if you can make money outside of here while you're working here,
yeah,
go for it. Have at it.
but that just
Make your fortune.
right. But also too, it's I mean, I don't exactly know who follows Adam Cole on Twitch and everything, but I mean, I'm sure there might be people that have no idea that he's a professional wrestler. I'm sure most of his fans are,
Most of them are.
wrestling fans, but I'm sure, just if he has a big enough following, I'm sure some kind of Twitch algorithm or whatever
I want to
will
say,
recommend.
I've seen a couple of them. I want to say 20 to 25,000 watch.
Jesus.
See, and it's just why wouldn't you want that? You know what I mean? Then Cole could, you think this is cool? On Monday night, come watch. You know what I mean?
When
That
AJ Styles had his, he had over 50,000 people watching most days.
right?
You know what I don't get? Do you know how boring it is to watch someone play a video game?
Very.
It's freaking annoyingly boring. Like I watch my kid play and I'm like bored to tear. I'm on my phone. It's like, Dad, how come you're not watching someone else play? Give me a controller.
son. No.
90% of the time,
Turn
you're
your
just
son to
listening to what they
millionaire.
talk about. He answers questions. He just talks about random stuff going on. I don't think anyone's really watching for the video games. It's more the
Right.
interaction.
I mean, not for nothing. Have you ever seen Paige's Twitch streams? Nobody's
couple
watching
times.
her play. Nobody's
Yeah,
watching
it's
her
a
play
valid
video
point.
games.
She does it half naked.
See, exactly.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Nobody's tuning in to watch her play Pokemon. That's for sure. Or Minecraft.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Exactly.
She could be playing the Barbie game. No one would care.
She's playing Pong. She's playing Pong
Xavier
by
Woods
herself.
might be watching her play Pokemon.
Our interns might, yeah.
But yeah, I never understood why you wouldn't want people, people to do outside stuff like that.
Hmm.
It just
Why do you not want your talent to be happy?
Right.
You think about it, especially nowadays. I do a lot of staffing and recruiting work, and a lot of the big decisions that people make as far as a lot of it sounds like there's like some strange animal in my yard.
Chupacabra.
Probably, but a lot of the oh no, he's coming back for the title.
Whoa, 2 weeks.
A lot of the big X factors that people are looking for is actual workplace environment, and what type of place is this to work? Is it a good place? What's how are the people like? And I think this is where the WWE is more behind the times than anywhere else, because Vince is still, no, you're not going to do your outside interest. Oh, you want to go wrestle at New Japan? No, that's not going to happen. Oh, you want to do a Twitch stream? No, that's not going to happen. Oh, you got an idea? Not here, pal. Whereas you look at some of these other places, AEW, more than anyone else, is like, oh, you have an idea? Let's talk about it. Let's see if it works.
Yep.
Let's have an open dialogue. The quality of life is better in that regard. That's the term, quality of life.
Right.
You're not on the road 360 days a year anymore like you were back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. But there's still a quality of life. And if you're miserable showing up every day, your performance is going to show.
Yep.
It's 100% going to show. If you're coming in and you're happy and you're able to do the things that interest you because whatever the reason is, but you're able to be you you're going to perform better. The company's going to perform better as a result. I think Vince forgot about that. I don't know.
A lot of people forget about that.
Well, you're not wrong. They're always talking about how the morale is all the time, and you never really know. No, they don't really want to say if they get in trouble for it. So you know something's up.
Yeah, morale, customer service is a huge thing. I'll walk into a store not wanting something at all, and I'll get it because someone just was like, did their job and was like nice and like
Mhm.
like around Christmas time or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like, how did I leave with all this stuff? It's because the person that you're dealing with was just like a good person, good at their job, and happy to give you what they wanted to give you. And it just like, there's so many assholes that like are in top positions that just kind of just ruin so many good people, and it just it's annoying.
I'll give you an example. For years, Rick, you mentioned it earlier, and of course how we said it last week, that the WWE was the place everyone wanted to go to. It was the destination. We always believed this is the place you want to work. I worked for a company. I'm not going to mention their name, but they're in Wellesley, right on Cedar Street, and Sweet 20, and they 110 Cedar Street, that is. They used to kayfabe the best places to work in Boston award. What I mean by that, they used to do fake ballots. They had 2 employees. One's a very, very good friend of mine. They were afraid of what their answers were going to be, so they didn't give them the survey. Instead, they filled it out for them so they could. Wait, have you done this?
Yeah, my work does the same thing. They make you sit down, and then they tell you what to say. The same thing.
Wow.
Boston's best places to work, and they don't even like you don't have to do it because they know I'm not going to be.
I didn't know this existed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you, Rick? Have you ever gone to the event?
No,
Oh my
No.
God! This event is the biggest,
The douchiest thing ever.
douchebaggery you'll ever see.
I can imagine.
It's so bad. But anyway, this place would kayfabe it and try to win it. They actually got number 1, not this past year, but the year before. I don't work there anymore. But it was fake. And that's great. They're now, hey, we're number 1 best place to work. But working there, the vice president of this company, who basically makes all the decisions, the owner was the nicest guy ever. The vice president, biggest cockbag you'll ever meet. Treats his people like crap unless you're his best friend. And there's a clique. There's a clique that runs the office. It's cutthroat. It's miserable to work there. Absolutely miserable to work there, to the point where you show up and you just stop caring after a while. So even though it claims to be one of the best places to work, it's just a horror for a lot of people. And there was a lot of people coming in, seeing what it is, and then they would leave. And I tell the story because we always had that illusion of the WWE being the greatest place in the world to work. And they've got a cockbag of a guy running it sometimes, like my old vice president, that just demoralizes you. And there's a bunch of people there that can thrive in that environment and that make it work. And then there's your people like CM Punk, like, all these others that just have had enough and want out and go elsewhere and find their happiness. I think you find that in everywhere, though.
Sure.
That's my story time.
Thank you.
Killed the show. Hooray.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for your TED Talk.
Thank you.
So on a side note, I'm looking at this article right now. Apparently, there's a couple NXT guys at SmackDown tonight. From Austin Theory, Odyssey Jones, and Bronson Reichsteiner, which is Rick Steiner's kid.
Who just started there. He hasn't even been. He just got
Austin
signed.
Theory used to be on Raw. He was at a WrestleMania.
Steiner's name has been his first name instead of Bronson is Rex. They changed it to Rex.
Rex Reichsteiner.
Rex Reichsteiner.
That doesn't sound Nazi
It's
at
going to
all.
be Rex Steiner soon. Don't worry.
I mean, I hope so because Tom's completely right about that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
Why didn't they just change it to Steiner?
Oh, I can't wait for Rex Reichsteiner to go up against Goldberg.
Because that's the thing. Like,
No.
Well, from what they've done so far, none of them have appeared on the program.
right. But to JL's point, why don't they just change it to Steiner? It's like, why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you change?
Call him his
You
son.
have
I
a
mean,
legacy
God,
guy.
Really?
Ask
But,
Joe
I mean,
Hennig.
But I was to say, ask Joe Hennig about that.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean? It's
Yeah,
just
that's
like
true. I stand corrected.
I mean,
I'll ask him when
Bo
I get to
Dallas. You know what I mean? It's just they had tons of second generation, third generation
Yeah.
that they just, they don't care about that stuff. They don't care about legacy.
Not anymore.
I'll ask Joe Hennig when I get to the intersection up the street and he's begging for a buck.
He might be Scion in NWA. I don't know who that is.
Maybe who?
Scion in the NWA. There's a guy who has a mask who only Billy knows who it is. They stress it. Only Billy knows who Scion is. And he says he won't tell you what his name is. He won't tell you how he came about. He's related to a professional wrestler or something. And he doesn't want you to know anything more about him.
You know an awful lot about this guy.
I don't know
and
anything
you're
about
related,
him.
you're
He just
related to
says that-
Cowboy Kirk Roberts.
He says that every week on NWA Power.
JL's our NWA insider, so
Sorry.
Is it you?
it's Kirk
What?
Roberts.
Is it you? You're
It's
related
Cowboy
to Cowboy
Kirk
Kirk.
Roberts.
I am related to Cowboy Kirk Roberts. Is it me that am I Scion?
Yes. Is it you?
I don't want to say anything. I can't tell you. Only I can tell Billy Corgan.
Damn it, Billy, he figured it out.
They probably haven't figured out who it is yet because there's not enough big names to bring it in for it yet. So they're still waiting for the right person.
Someone find Joe Hennig's number. They need somebody related to a pro wrestler.
But they got Trevor
Well,
Murdoch
if you
as
get
the
a
champ
chance to
now.
watch any of the interviews, just watch it just for the fact that he keeps saying only Billy knows who what
Is
lines
that the
for
whole
right.
interview? It's just him saying Billy knows who
Yeah,
I am.
same thing every time.
Is that the he's got like a
Silver mask or something.
silver mask on? Yeah.
The cape.
I don't know who that is. He's got a ridiculously large tattoo on his arm though. That
Really?
I don't think. I don't think. I mean, maybe he got it before that, but I don't know. And he's not very.
Good. So it might
Could
be
be
him.
Yeah. I don't know. My
I don't know. NWA is weird.
Yeah.
NWA is really odd. Especially with that Dick Murdoch coming out with that that thumbs up for our
Dick
good
Murdoch
friend.
is still dead.
Oh, Trevor Murdoch.
Trevor, you keep saying Dick Murdoch.
Oh, dirty
Wait.
Dick Murdoch.
We're all
He
gonna
used to
die.
go by,
someday.
right?
Dirty Dick did not play video games backstage.
He sure
That's for
did it.
sure.
And there's a reason he got the name Dirty Dick.
A hardline collection agency.
What was that?
Dick Murdoch was in NWA the last time. The hardline collection agency.
So, Russ, what do you think about Disney buying WWE?
I don't think it's gonna happen. It's I mean, their shows are on NBC. Their shows are on Peacock. Their shows are on Fox. Their shows are elsewhere from Disney. I don't see it. I maybe someday, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. I would think if anyone was going to buy it, it would be NBC Universal.
How would
But
that work
Disney-
if Disney bought it tomorrow? Like, would they pull all their
They'd
programming
have to
off?
honor the contracts.
I was
Yeah.
going to say,
Because
And those
are
like-
sometimes you have like a Fox studio show on NBC or CBS or something, or CBS show on one of the other ones because they didn't pick it up. They all work together in some sort. They'd have to agree to it. I mean, they could offer them a buyout, but they'd be probably paying billions of dollars to get it off of Fox, and you're not going to pay $1 billion on top of buying the company. So you just have to let the contract run out.
I mean,
It'd be
it's
3 or 4 years, but
Right.
stranger things have happened.
I mean, Disney be still making money off it anyway. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess what's the, I
Right.
guess that's the worst problem you could have, right?
Mhm.
I could
Disney could
see
put it on
somebody.
Freeform.
I could see something like Amazon buying the WWE, like something totally random.
I think Disney's got the resources, obviously, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be
Yeah.
a major deal for them.
Mhm.
I mean, Disney has everything right now. Has
Right.
Marvel, has The Simpsons, has all this
Star
stuff.
Wars.
So, yeah,
Mhm.
They have
So
it all.
they could certainly do it.
National Geographic.
Money's not a problem for them.
No,
Wasn't
but
during World
like,
War II when
what
they were
would
financing the
be
Nazis,
what
so-
would be the price? It was $4 billion for Star Wars, and they've clearly made all that money back.
I think.
I think it's way less than 4 billion. That's for sure.
I don't think it's going to be too much less than that
Well,
because
what-
of all the
didn't
intellectual
Universal-
properties and everything.
In the old tapes, the
Yeah.
old WCWs, and
I think you're looking between 2 and 3 billion.
Wasn't that
Did
the
it?
offer they gave them?
Yeah,
Universal gave them?
Universal gave him an
I
offer
think
of
it was
4 billion
around
last
2
year,
or 3 billion at least. Yeah.
and Vince said no.
Hmm.
But that was Vince, and that was before Nick Khan.
Yeah,
Well, they got $1 billion for the WWE Network to go to
Peacock. Yeah.
for 5 years,
Hmm.
and SmackDown they got $1 billion, I think, for Fox.
Yep.
So, a couple years from now, it could be like $10 billion. That's where like Amazon could come in and just be like, because Amazon has a couple football games this season.
They have a bunch actually, like 10 or something.
Yeah. So I mean, like, people just want content. So like
Mhm.
Amazon could just be like, or Apple, like Apple TV, like.
What if the Khans bought Nick Khan? I mean, Shad Khan, Shad Tony Khan.
I hope not.
because then you
They
have the
want
same thing you did
competition.
with
Right.
WWE and WCW.
Hmm.
But what
Well,
if you just
they
what if you
keep
just
posting-
let it what if you just let it be its own thing? They don't do what WWE did back, you don't have the invasion angle. Just let it be its own thing. Because wasn't that the original plan? Was they wanted Nitros for Monday and Raw was gonna move to or whatever.
Oh, Nitro will probably move.
Because I remember that was the thing. They were going to have Monday nights
Yeah.
were going to be for WCW, and then the whatever
Wednesdays was
whatever
WCW, Mondays
whatever
was
SmackDown was going to be was going to be WWE. That was the original, and then they just scrapped that whole thing and went with the invasion angle.
Yeah, that quickly changed.
And killed everybody.
But I think if they just kept it as like a separate entity where you could, you just have it, run it business as usual, but then it would just where it's basically the same company. I mean, a guy gets stale over in WWE, send him over to AEW. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just
There's ways it could work, but Vince would never
Right, but
sell
it's-
to
it'll
him.
ne- yeah,
Vince
it
would
wouldn't do
never
it.
sell to him. No way.
because then that's like admitting defeat.
Hmm. Even if you're getting out, sell to somebody different. You don't want
I
to.
kind of hope it's Disney though, because I'm all in on that theme park.
Oh yeah,
I bet they're the front runner. They can outbid anybody, really.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, they have endless money.
can't wait for the F5 roller coaster.
Well, it'd be a bunch of
The ECW Hardcore
the
Cafe.
Macho Man, trampoline or something.
Macho Man trampoline.
Yeah, you jump on and go right into a tree.
Oh no.
Oh, my. Oh,
The
no.
New Day Pancake House.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
A lot of things they could do. There's too many to even name. Rick Boog's Guitar Shop.
Uh,
Shinsuke's Surf Company.
NWO for Life pastry.
you could have, like Disney has like those walkthrough things, so like, the Land of Tomorrow and all that. You can have
Mhm.
that where you start out in developmental and you walk through and you get to the main roster, and at the end, Nick Khan hands you your release papers.
They give you a new name halfway through, and then 3/4 of the way through, they take half of that name,
Yep.
and then you get fired.
And then they hand you an AEW shirt after
then you-
After they
and
let
then
you
you walk-
wander for a while.
I would say then you walk over to Universal Studios and go watch a Rampage taping on Saturday.
So we have one way to end it, JL, the Juventud Wrestler of the Week.
Uh-oh.
He wasn't ready for that.
Juventud?
I wasn't ready for that because you know who it's got to be?
No, I don't.
I'm moving things so you can see me. It's got to be Matt Cardona for this week's. I know, right? If you watch this, if you're reading Twitter this week,
You're wearing a CM Punk shirt. You're wearing a CM Punk shirt.
I know, but I'm not doing.
Wait,
CM
let's see what he has.
Juventud Wrestler of the Week.
All right, I'll do CM Punk.
He named
No,
Lily
wait, we
he
need to
named
hear- we
Lily
need
the
to
doll
hear
the
the
last
Matt
time he was
Cardona.
on.
I do want to know why Matt Cardona is
I'll do him as number 2. I'll do a tie.
the El Dandy Wrestler of the Week.
He's the El Dandy wrestler of the week.
What's the reason we can't?
Yeah, but we need to know why Matt Cardona's there.
Matt Cardona, because if you've been reading his tweets this week about GCW's world title and the spin, and then he lost it to John Moxley at GCW, and then which was a surprise, and then now he's going back to GCW with Mark Sterling, and his just reactions to the fans were like, "Oh my god, I thought we were done with this." It's just really.
I mean,
good.
I will have to say he is doing a great job of just making everybody hate him.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if I don't know if it's a persona or if he just really is like a douche, because he seems kind of like a douche.
He does.
But he, at the same time, I do enjoy his douchiness, because it is pretty entertaining.
Especially in GCW.
Yeah, and that's why I really enjoy his current GCW. Like, it makes me want to watch him and get gutted by Nick Gage. So that's kind of why I pushed him before CM Punk, because I thought CM Punk's match was good, and it wasn't. It was a great return, but it wasn't. It wasn't what I expected it to be, which was more of a high-paced match, like an old school CM Punk match. But he's just not ready. He's not there yet.
I never expected a high-paced match out of that one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, as a fan of CM Punk, I've seen him do stuff before, so it just seems like he would. Like, I have that in my head, and he just wasn't what he was. What's going on?
I'm accepting.
Honestly, making me laugh.
I'm accepting JL's pick for.
It's better than when it was Lily the doll that made it.
As far as the Punk match, though, I didn't expect any. I mean, I wasn't expecting Punk to bust out all this crazy crap and Darby going just.
Yep.
But at the same time, I feel like Darby got his stuff in.
Yep.
Yes.
And Punk also, like, honestly, I wouldn't doubt it if Punk, like, set a clip to die like that, that match, the Bret Hart 1 2 3 Kid match, and just watch this.
Probably.
Watch it a couple times. We're gonna go and not go move for move, hold for hold, but
Right.
they picked and choose decent spots, and it everything meant something. Everything built up. You know what I mean? It's and I hate to sound like cornet when I say this, but it's it was definitely the best wrestling match on the card. You know what I mean? Like it was different, especially when you have like stuff like the Lucha Brothers, and you have like the cage match. It was just it was a great match, but it was as they say, it's like a car wreck. You know what I mean? It was great, action packed, spots aplenty, but as far as like an actual story told in a match, I don't think there was anything. The only thing close I want to say was probably Miro and Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For me, and I know I'm wrong on this. It just wasn't. I don't know. I guess the predictability of Punk going over made it not as like Darby looked great. It was a great match. It was technically great, and it was just, but with Punk, I don't know. It just seemed calmer than it should have been to me. Maybe it was the crowd. Maybe it was something. I don't know what, but to me, it wasn't the greatest Punk match. It was technically great. It just wasn't, Hall of Fame worthy. And Matt Cardona is, because
he's the Juventud Guerrero.
We can't dispute it. That's what you said.
Yeah.
All right.
Team JL on this one.
Oh yeah.
You got the last call this week.
All right.
Well, the real question is JL wearing pants tonight?
We don't need.
I am wearing pants. Thank God for that. No, of course I'm wearing pants.
Every week.
I will start from every week from now on.
I'm not only wearing pants, but I'm wearing Hulkamania shorts.
You
What? Oh no!
All right, please sign off.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah.
This Friday's gotten a little weird.
Yeah.
This is a.
Tom, why are you at the Burbank airport right now?
All right.
I guess on that note,
We'll go. I just don't like
Craig.
sorry.
oh,
Do you want
man.
me-
Go ahead.
What's happening?
What are we doing?
What? I don't.
Do you want me to do an
Just,
outro? I don't know, Brian.
Sure.
Right.
Do an outro.
Okay. I
Three,
gotta
two,
remember
one.
what it's called now.
In 5, 4.
Thank you for tuning in to
No.
us.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Thanks for tuning in to Through the Table. For everybody, for Rick, for Tom, for Russ, for Brian, I'm JL saying good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Through the Table podcast with Tom, Rick, Russ, JL, and Brian. Catch us on Twitter and Facebook. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Till next time.